I'll tell you the story. This is a friend's story, and he never tells it. I'm going to tell it as him. He's a one-line sort of. He's a joke guy, and I won't say his name because I don't want to.
People called me a thief for a long time for doing exactly what you're about to do.
No. I'm going to say there's a comic in London. I won't say his name because maybe he doesn't want me to tell this story, so I'm going to keep it as a.
Oh.
You know, but he got employed to do Ronnie Wood's daughter's wedding, right?
As a comic?
As a comic.
Oh,
right?
What a horrible gig! But you can't turn it down.
Can't turn it down, right? So,
And
also, I don't want to name him because I might get a couple of these facts slightly wrong.
Right. I think you get the big one right.
Yeah, but
the comic has to play Ron Wood's daughter's wedding.
Wood's daughter's wedding. This was at this bit where Ronnie Wood had just fucking started dating a 19-year-old girl and he'd fallen off the wagon a few years back. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right? So Ronnie Wood's off the wagon and fucking getting wasted. And he's meant to do this set, and this guy's a little bit neurotic, and he's standing up the back going, oh, fucking Ronnie Wood, fucking. And they go, we'll do the speeches, and you can come on afterwards, right, and do a set. He's like, all right, cool. So the speeches start, people start talking, and then David Bowie and Clapton decide to do an impromptu set together.
Nice.
Right? So he's sitting there going, and not to be outdone by fucking them, the Stones get up and start performing at this wedding.
Shit.
Right? He's sitting at the back. Now he has to follow Eric Clapton, David Bowie, and the Stones. And he's just fucking panicking, right? And this goes on forever and ever. And he's just gone outside. He can't even watch the gig anymore. The best gig ever, and he can't fucking watch it. Right? And then someone else gets up and does some big fucking thing, right? He's standing outside, and Ronnie Wood comes outside for a smoke, and he's fucking wasted. And my mate goes up and goes, look, I just want to talk to you about this gig. And then Ronnie Wood wasted goes, oh, you were great, man.
Nice.
He left it. He never performed there and got paid.
He got paid? You were great, man. His daughter's wedding. With that fucking cool rooster hair that only Brits have. Like Rod Stewart, Ron Wood, Mick Taylor, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, everyone from The Faces, Ronnie Lane. Every Brit has that like natural rooster hairdo that looks great. And if you're an American with that hair, you look like a lesbian.
Yeah.
And here in England...
And there's guys just in the street with that haircut in the UK.
Just rockers and mods, man.
Yeah.
Just getting it to get... Bowie does not have that hair.
I know
Bowie's got the...
Russell Brand does that hair every now and again.
But I think he has to work on it. Ronnie Wood just rolls out of bed.
Yeah,
Keith Richards has like snakes and shit in his hair.
Russell puts a lot of effort into his. Did I ever tell you my Russell Brand Noel Gallagher story?
No, but goddamn, I want Russell Brand on this fucking podcast.
He's a good guy, man. Russell,
love the guy.
So Russell, he got done for. We didn't get done. What he did was he had sex with a girl called Georgina Bailey. And I can say names in this story because it's all in the media. And he had sex with Georgina Bailey. Now Georgina Bailey is not a wilting flower. She's a girl from a dance troupe in London called the Satanic Sluts, who she gets blood poured on her and shit at heavy metal concerts.
I figured what better way to spread collective consciousness and raise the awareness of love around us than make love to a satanic slut.
Exactly.
Well,
But
Jim.
the big kicker of this girl is she's Manuel from Fawlty Towers' granddaughter.
All right.
Right? And
So she's royalty. She's
Andrew
comedic
Sachs,
royalty.
Yeah, comedic royalty, right? Now, he fucked her, and then he went on his radio show and rang up Manuel from Fawlty Towers. And
This was in his book. I remember this.
and left voice messages on his phone saying, I fucked your granddaughter. Not good form, but he did it with Jonathan Ross, who's the equivalent of David Letterman in the UK.
Who, by the way, has never aged a day.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross.
And so Jonathan Ross got suspended from his TV show for a month, right? And Russell got fired from the BBC. And then he came out here and decided to become a movie star. Probably best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And he had sex with a satanic slut. Covered in blood.
Cut to 5 years earlier. I fucked her at the Edinburgh Festival when she was performing in a play with her grandfather. Back then she was 17 years old. I didn't know. I met her in a bar. But it's also, may I add, that that's legal in the UK. That's age of consent, so I didn't do anything wrong. I did ply her full of ecstasy, so I'm no fucking... But not like I didn't drug her, but we were taking ecstasy all night. Anyway, right. And
then you got on a plane with a guy with the military.
Yeah, and then I had sex with her. And anyway, she told me. So I told everyone in the comedy community that I fucked Manuel from Fawlty Towers' granddaughter. This is common knowledge in the stand-up world.
But you were never Shagger of the Year.
But I never rang him up or anything. It was just in our little community, right? So this news comes out. They start ringing comics, especially dirty comics like myself, up for, do you think that comedy can go too far? Do you think that he went too far in this incident?
This is in England? They're ringing.
This is in England, right? I'm still living out there. And I just said nothing, and then the phone call came. So we hear that you had sex with Georgina Bailey as well, right? And then one comic obviously let it slip somewhere, and now I'm just fucking inundated with this shit, right?
This is after Russell broke.
This is after Russell, and it's 5 years later for me, right? And so I'm just lying, just saying I don't know what you're talking about, don't know what you're talking about, whatever, right? Because I didn't want to be roped into this fucking thing. Anyway, cut to another 2 years later. I'm in the Groucho bar in London, which is like Soho House, like an exclusive members thing. About 2 a.m. I'm off my tits, like just drunk. I'm not on drugs or anything, but I'm super drunk. It's like 3 a.m. Russell Brand walks in and he's all, oh, hello, hello. And I met Russell before he was famous doing stand-up. And I went up to him and I said, Russell, he goes, oh, Jim Jeffries, what a pleasure to see you again. And I went, oh, cool, he remembers my name. That's nice, right? And I said, Russell, and he's like completely sober. I said, Russell, you owe me an apology after you had sex with Manuel's granddaughter. I had sex with her years earlier. And he went, oh, wasn't she grubby? She needed a wash, didn't she? And
I love Russell.
And so we chatted, we compared notes.
Wasn't she grubby? Needed a wash.
And so we compared notes and we had a bit of a laugh about it and everything was fine, right? And he was actually like looking at me like, you're really drunk, Jim, type of a look, right? Anyway, Noel Gallagher from Oasis walks in. I'm a huge Oasis fan. I've seen him live like 10 times. I fucking love Oasis. They're like, him and Russell Brand are best friends.
Yeah.
And so he's walked up to Russell, they've hugged each other, and now I'm standing in a group with Russell Brand and Noel Gallagher, and I'm in this group thinking, all right.
Where's the paparazzi when you need them?
No, we're inside the club, right?
Yeah, but still.
Right, so we're in there, and I'm thinking, this is okay, right? And fucking, and then I'm just sort of smiling and grinning like an idiot. Noel and Russell are talking for a bit, and then Noel sort of, because he's standing there, went, who's this guy? And then Russell went, oh, I'm ever so sorry. This is the wonderful Jim Jeffries, right? Gave me a big superlative sort of welcome with his arms flailing around. And then Noel Gallagher shakes my hand and goes, hey, what do you do? And I went, I fucked Manuel's granddaughter as well. I could have said I'm a comic, I know Russell, whatever, but my brain was just in this little... And the first thing that came out, and then the look of disappointment where he went, oh, it's good. And then the two of them very gently turned their backs to me over the course of the next minute. And I stood there going, well, I'll just be over there. I'll go get a drink. Good speaking to you guys. It's one of these things, things in life when you're having a good time, you're at the park with your kid or whatever, and everything's good. And then your brain just goes, hey, remember when you made your dick out of yourself in front of Noel Gallagher? And your body just slightly shivers where you go, oh,